All right, let's get right into it. We're going to break down the science of how to learn literally anything, but faster and way more effectively. So forget everything you thought you knew about studying. We're about to go straight to the source code of your brain. You ever get that feeling that some people are just born smart and you're kind of stuck struggling? You know, the idea that you're just not a math person or you'll never be good with languages? Well, what if I told you that entire idea is just wrong? So check this out. This is Barbara Oakley. She's a professor of engineering, but she wasn't always some genius at technical stuff. In fact, get this, she flunked her way through math and science for years. Her story is just incredible proof that your brain isn't fixed. You can actually fundamentally change how you learn. So how do we do it? Well, it all starts with figuring out what we're all doing wrong. Okay, picture this. It's study time. What's the go-to move for pretty much all of us? We grab a highlighter, crack open the book, and we read. And then we read it again. Maybe one more time just to be safe. It feels super productive, doesn't it? The pages are all lit up in neon yellow, so we must be learning something. But here's the thing. It's a trap. It's what neuroscientists call an illusion of competence. See, all that highlighting and rereading, it's really passive. It makes the material feel familiar, but you gotta understand, familiarity is not the same as mastery. Your brain starts to mistake recognizing the words on the page for actually knowing the concepts. And that is the trap we have to avoid. So really, this is the choice right here. We can stick with the comfy, passive stuff like rereading, or we can embrace what actually works, active recall. And all that means is you're pulling information out of your brain, not just trying to shove it in. It's the difference between watching the game and actually playing it. Now, to see why this is so insanely powerful, we gotta look at how our brains are actually wired. Okay, so to really get why these active methods work so well, we need to peek under the hood at what's happening inside your head. Turns out, your brain basically has two totally different modes for thinking and learning. First up, we've got the focused mode. I love this analogy from Barbara Oakley. Think of your brain like a pinball machine. When you're in focused mode, the little rubber bumpers are all packed in tight. So when you launch a thought, that's the pinball. It just zips right along these well-worn, familiar paths. This is perfect for problems you already kind of know how to solve. But what happens when you hit a brand new, tricky concept? Well, for that, you need to switch gears into the diffuse mode. Now, in this state, the pinball bumpers are spread way, way out. Your thoughts can bounce all over the place, making these big, sweeping connections that you couldn't see before. You know that aha moment you get in the shower or on a walk? That's your diffuse mode working its magic in the background. So the million-dollar question is, how do you actually switch between them? The secret is to do it on purpose. And one of the best, simplest ways is something called the Pomodoro Technique. You just set a timer and focus hard for 25 minutes. When that timer goes off, you stop. You get up, you take a 5-minute break. And that break is not wasted time. It's crucial. That's when your diffuse mode kicks in. And when you come back, you'll often see the problem in a whole new light. Okay, let's talk about what might be the single biggest mindset shift in all of this. Most of us think that learning is all about the act of cramming information into our heads. But that's only half the story, and honestly, it's the wrong half to be focusing on. Yeah, the real goal is to stop that information from falling right back out. Neuroscientist Andrew Huberman puts it perfectly. Effective learning is really just the act of fighting against forgetting. I mean, think about it. Your brain is literally designed to forget most of what you experience every single day. So your job is to send it a really strong signal that says, hey, this stuff right here, this is important. Keep it. So how do we send that signal? What is the most powerful tool we have to fight that natural forgetting process and lock something into long-term memory? I'll tell you what it's not. It's not rereading. It's not highlighting. It's not even that Pomodoro technique we just talked about. The answer is testing yourself. Seriously, that's it. That simple act of forcing your brain to recall information without looking at the answer is the most potent learning tool there is. It's way more effective than another hour of passive rereading. And here's the key. Every time you struggle to remember something, you're actually strengthening that connection in your brain. The struggle is the point. And if you don't believe me, check out the numbers on this. They're just wild. Research shows that just one single session of testing yourself can cut forgetting in half. 50%. I mean, that is an incredible return on your investment of time and energy. It just proves it, right?
It's not about what you can cram in, it's about what you can pull out. Okay, so we've got the techniques, but what about the time commitment? We've all heard that infamous 10,000-hour rule, and it just sounds impossible. But the thing is, as author Josh Kaufman points out, that rule is massively misunderstood. That number comes from studying elite, world-class experts, the time it takes to get to the absolute peak of a super competitive field.
But let's be real. What if your goal isn't to be the next Serena Williams? What if you just want to learn a few songs on the guitar, or speak enough Spanish to order dinner, or get the basics of coding down? How long does that actually take? Are you ready for this?
The answer is about 20 hours. That's it. Kaufman's research shows that with about 45 minutes of focused, deliberate practice a day for about a month, you can go from knowing absolutely nothing about a skill to being surprisingly good at it. Suddenly, learning something new doesn't feel like this decade-long scary commitment, does it? And Kaufman gives us a simple 4-step roadmap. First, break the skill down. Don't try to learn everything at once, just the most important bits. Second, learn just enough so you can start practicing and notice your own mistakes. Don't get stuck in endless research mode. Third, get rid of anything and everything that could stop you from practicing. And finally, commit to those 20 hours right up front. That initial commitment is what will power you through that frustrating beginning part where most people quit. So now we have the science of learning and a totally realistic time frame. But knowing how to learn is completely useless if you don't actually do the work, which brings us to our final piece, execution. And on this, I love this quote from OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. He says, "Most of these complex productivity hacks are really just clever ways to procrastinate." His method is so simple, it's almost beautiful. Forget the fancy apps, the color-coded calendars. Just grab a piece of paper, write down the things you need to do, circle the single most important one, and then do that thing. First, before you check your email, before you scroll on your phone, you just do it. The power of this is that it forces you to make one clear choice about what actually matters. It cuts through all that hemming and hawing about where to start. Once that task is circled, your job isn't to decide anymore, your job is to execute. It gets rid of decision fatigue and frees up all that mental energy to just make progress. So there you have it, the brain's 2 learning modes, the power of testing yourself to beat forgetting, a 20-hour framework to get good at anything fast, and a dead simple system to actually get it done. The tools are simple, the science is crystal clear. So the only real question left is, what are you going to learn first?